How long have you been overweight? Are you one of those people who are thin for most of their lives and gain weight after getting married and having kids? Do you start gaining weight after a personal tragedy in your life? Or are you like me, the kid who left a delivery room and made a dash for the nearest cafeteria? Today's story is about Barbara, who lives on Staten Island, right across the bay from New York City. And just like me, Barbara was always the fat kid in school, the one nobody ever wanted to play with. As our story started to sound a little familiar to you, Barbara is a dental hygienist. She's married and has 3 great kids, and takes a whole lot of pride in the love and care of her family. But she always seemed to leave one important family member out of that caring: herself. She hadn't been to a doctor in years, even though he weighed over 230 pounds. Barbara continued to her compulsive eating habits, not caring enough about her appearance to do anything about it. She writes, "After my oldest son had his bar mitzvah, I was all excited about watching the videotape and recorded from his party. Well, I knew it was fat, of course, but as I sat and watched myself on tape, for the first time I really didn't like when I saw, did I really look that fat? Had I let myself go that much? Without stopping to think about it, I marched right to the bathroom. I pulled out my forgotten scale. Before I got on it, I looked at myself in the mirror. Look at my face, I thought. But which face? I got so many chins, it's hard to tell where my face ends. So there was my scale just a few steps away. But before I got on it, I made a promise to myself, and that was no matter what those numbers were, I was going to like myself in spite of them. Without promise in mind, Barbara stood on the scale, took a deep breath, looked down to see just what those numbers would be. There they were, the glaring red numbers: 238. 238 pounds, Barbara thought to herself. She didn't think that was too bad, but she was determined that those numbers were going to come down from there. Now, Barbara had already gotten a deal meal program a few months earlier, so she had at least, he's still about losing weight, but had like her scales, she had put it pretty much out of her sight and out of her mind. But all that was going to change now. She used her deal meal cards and faithfully followed the program, watching as her brand new body began to appear. When she had lost 46 pounds, Barbara was so excited over her progress that she wrote me another letter telling me how she had done. So after reading her letter, I surprised her with a phone call to cheer her on. Here's what she wrote to me after I spoke to her on the phone. Dear Eric, you may be the happiest person in the world when I receive your phone call. You called me, you precious and adorable Barbara. Those words were like music to my ears, and have been with me every day since. I will post some new pictures. Now I am 75 pounds thinner. Just can't believe it. The picture of me, the new one, was taken just last Saturday when I attended a wedding. Guess what, Eric? People didn't even recognize me. I never get tired of hearing the compliments from others. It makes me feel so good about what I've done. It's hard to believe that I'm down to the last 20 pounds. It's a far, far cry from weighing 238. I weigh now when I weighed in high school. You have been with me every step of the way. So my next dream is to be able to put my arms around you and give you a big kiss and say thank you, love, Barbara. Isn't she something? I talked to Barbara again a few days ago. She was moving right along and had lost another 8 pounds. She's eating right, she's exercising every day. Wait to hear this. She went to the doctors. She got her first physical in 15 years, and thank goodness, she was given a clean bill of health after having waited so long. Finally, at long last, Barbara realized that it was just as important to take care of herself as it was to take care of her family. That's what it's all come down to, really, today. I want you to do what Barbara did, to make a personal pledge to always take care of herself. Well, I'll see her right here tomorrow.